first Christmas who would win of the week of the season is Clark Griswold versus Walter Hobbs. Walter Hobbs is the dad from the Will Ferrell movie Elf, played by James Caan. Clark Griswold, obviously, Christmas Vacation, top-notch Christmas movie of all time. This is I like this battle because, you know, I think in some ways these characters are similar, and obviously in one big way they're very different, and that is the love of Christmas. Walter Hobbs, not a Christmas guy. I wouldn't necessarily say he's anti-Christmas, but he is kind of like, I don't really care about this. This is kind of dumb. Clark Griswold obviously is like, Christmas is not dumb. We need to have the best Christmas possible. We need to go all out. We need to have everything going. As far as the fight goes, Walter Hobbs, I mean, he's a pretty tough guy, you know, for a publishing executive.
He's a grizzled New York City businessman.
Exactly. And Clark Griswold, you know, he's on the lower level of like the corporate ladder or whatever. Not quite as tough. Definitely goofy. Here's the thing. Walter Hobbs in his house his word is law. He runs his home with an iron fist. Clark Griswold, he's trying his best, but his kids and his wife,
he likes a little chaos, though.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. They don't really respect him that much, I think.
But go ahead.
But when it comes down to it, I mean, the guy fucking explodes. He goes crazy. He's got that short fuse in him. Whereas Walter Hobbs is kind of like always ready to throw down.
Here's the other thing is there's something to be said about somebody that is comfortable in chaos, that can live in constant chaos and doesn't need to, you know, be the master of their surroundings at all times. Walter Hobbs needs to be in control of his situation at all times. Clark Griswold, he knows that, you know, there's things he can control and there's things he can't, and he's okay living in that space.
You're right.
It takes a different type of human to be okay with living in that space. If you mix that in with the short fuse, I don't think that Hobbs is going to be able to necessarily handle that. And here's the other thing that we see with Hobbs is that he does, you know, fall by the wayside in a sense to succumb to his angry demeanor and realize that he needs to spread Christmas cheer through song.
Yeah, right. Because it's not going to work unless he's not singing. Yeah, no, you're right, though. That's a good point because Clark, even though he's not always happy with the chaos, like through adversity, he's had to become adaptable. And Walter Hobbs is not adaptable. And we see that when Buddy shows up, it's a big change in his life, and he just cannot handle it. I mean, he tries his best, I guess, but he totally is not used to being out of control. And he's got to learn that that's not the worst thing in the world. But he also just like looks like he could really fucking hit somebody.
See, but he seems a little bit like in the boardroom, he's stern and you know, he's demands respect. But he also has a little bit of that energy to me where he seems like the guy who will tell you you don't know who you are till you get punched in the mouth, but he's also never actually been punched in the mouth.
Yeah, that's a good point. At the end of the day, no matter what neighborhood he might have come from, he's an exec now, man. Yeah. He's a sellout. He's
white collar.
Yeah, exactly. He's forgotten his roots.
I have to lean towards Clark Griswold here because Clark Griswold is a wild card.
That's true. And you got to pick the wild card.
You have to pick the wild card.
Ace is wild, baby.
Yep.
You got to pick the
So
wild
I'm locking that in.
Yeah, I'll go for Clark Griswold as well. I think that this is a nice kind of Christmas dad fight, classic Christmas dad fight. But no dad does Christmas like Clark Griswold.
No dad does Christmas like Clark Griswold.
No dad does Christmas like Clark Griswold.
So lock that in. Clark Griswold. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win of the week? Clark Griswold versus Walter Hobbs, the dad from Elf.
Yep.
Elf.
Elf.